Hello there, welcome to Game Over Man podcast, part of sci-fi.com, bringing you major gaming news to independent developer reviews. With me, I have the usual clan with us. I have Sam.
Hello!
All the way from Australia, Lawrence.
Hello.
All the way from Weymouth, Steve.
Weymouth? I mean Kent.
All right, Kent, sorry. And Lee, just round the corner from me. Hello, mate.
Hello.
Hello there, guys. Right. In this episode, first things first, we're going to go round the table of things that we're reviewing currently on our sci-fi.com game section, as well as just gaming news in general. I myself, at the moment, I am going through a few Destiny things. There's a lot going on in the MMO side of Destiny. When it comes to sort of the online MMO-based gaming things, it seems sort of obvious what they kind of do. But basically what I'm trying to get at is within the Destiny world and the game, people are sort of getting a bit up in arms that there's a level cap been put on the characters that you're playing with that only gets you up to level 20. Now, we've all played sort of MMO-based games, and I guess you'd all agree that level 20 sounds pretty low when it comes to online MMO gaming and stuff. But then they've came out with something saying that basically when the game ends is when it really begins. Sounds a bit cliche in my opinion. But, yeah, what I've been reviewing, or what I've thrown a review up on GameOverman.net, is I think it's the head of Bungie's come out in a review with, in an interview, with Tech Radar, saying that basically what they're going to be doing is, because the Destiny world and, Bungie themselves have a team of developers that are working on the game, like, for 10 straight years after its like final release. They're going to be releasing all like new battlegrounds, new weapons, new sort of armor tiers and stuff like that. They've kind of sort of released it as if they're sort of releasing bits and bobs with news here and there, and it's like as if people are supposed to make a big deal of it, because there was a lot of and ahhing from their fan base in the sense of saying, oh, what, level 20, that's not a lot. But what they're saying is they've kept the player level cap at level 20, just so like your friends are never too far behind. Whereas in my opinion, that's sort of sounds a bit like, well, what's the point, if you know what I mean? I don't know.
Look at World of Warcraft. Like World of Warcraft, you know, every so often they'll just release another 10 levels and everyone gets real excited about it. So it's just a thing that they can go, you want to be the best at the game, buy this new update, you can go to 10 levels and be better than everyone else.
Yeah, it's almost like a pay-to-play when it comes to that sort of circumstance. But I imagine that's what they'll end up doing. It'll be, we're capping it at level 20, and then like a year later or something, it'll be like, right, you can now be level 30. And it's like they're trying to. I was reading the interview, and the guy that was on Tech Radar that was obviously interviewed, right, it was like he was getting really excited about it. Wow, they're working 10 years like on this content, and they're going to be bringing battlegrounds and new maps and new weapons and blah blah. It's like, yeah, Blizzard do that weekly, almost.
Yeah.
Like it didn't seem too sort of new in my opinion, but that's what is recent with Destiny, and also the fact that you can now pre-order it for Xbox 360 and Xbox One. That's what I've done myself, and I think I'll be receiving it on the 21st of July, I believe. I think that's when it comes out. So Xbox 360, Xbox One users, you can pre-order that from game.co.uk or any retailer that seems to be pre-ordering it anyway, and you also receive a beta access code for it. So you sort of get a little bit of early access with it.
Is it not
Talking
on
about
PS4?
Pardon?
Not on PS4, no?
The PS4's already been released. PS4 got an exclusive introduction to it, alpha testing. Basically, the PS4 got it, I think it was about a couple of weeks earlier than Xbox did. So sort of PS4 users, if they're interested in it, they're already probably in the swing of the news and stuff. But talking about pre-ordering side of things, Dead Island 2 is already out to pre-order. Now, I know that doesn't drop until 2015. I think that possibly has to be the earliest pre-order of a game I've ever fucking heard of. Because they've only just released the trailer when it was at E3. They haven't said a lot about the game. And at E3, apparently, you only got to try a very early alpha sort of demo of the game that was allegedly used to entice Jaeger into development, well, now becoming the new developers of the game. And now it's like out to pre-order already. I don't get it. It's like a weapon pack already. It just seems a little bit too early, but people can pre-order that already for, I think it's $49.99, you know, so There's a kick in the nuts for a game that doesn't even half exist at the moment.
49.99 pounds.
Yeah.
Dean, basically, Lawrence as well, what you said about the whole downloadable content stuff for obviously Destiny, do you know that they're dropping $500 million into the development marketing of this game?
Serious?
Yeah, seriously, they're dropping $500 million into this game. So, yeah, I agree. At some point, when you said about the whole level 20 thing,
yeah,
they're going to have to make their money back on everything. They're going to literally, this is not, here's the game, here's the start, and we are going to basically hook you in and then, like a drug dealer, charge you for every next hit.
They were saying that, like, through the 10 years, the Destiny world itself changes every single day. Or, like, the story, because they're so, apparently they're really delving into, because Bungie created Halo. I think I agree. Sam, do you know?
Yes, they did, yeah.
Yeah, they did. They work, apparently, really, really thoroughly on their mysteries that are contained within their worlds and stuff like that. So apparently Destiny is going to be horrendously big and almost endless, as they call it. But then again, if you put money into it, that's Hollywood budget, isn't it? That's Hollywood budget. $500 million. That's crazy.
That is triple Hollywood budget, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's Lord of the Rings original trilogy plus fucking the Hobbit trilogy plus the fucking Star Wars prequel trilogy, and then you have to probably add the Matrix trilogy to even get to that.
Jesus, all they need is Michael Bay, and then they're done. Just to
I
make
hope that with that 500 million, they're actually going to put out a lot of decent servers, because if it's going to be as big as it is, the thing they don't want to happen is do a SimCity on startup day and just no one can get on it. It just keeps crashing.
So
they
true.
really need to put a lot of money into that, because that can make or break the game, really.
Yeah, absolutely. They're saying that you could literally, the game is so big that they said you could leave the storyline alone, and I can't remember what the statistic was I read, but apparently if it was running 24 hours, the storyline could be completed a certain amount of time before even half the sort of other content that you can find out in the Destiny world would even sort of be unlocked or something along those lines. It sounds fucking massive. But then again, if you're sitting there saying in your sales pitch in a way that you've got a team of developers working for 10 years on a game, like, you must instantly sit there and think, Jesus Christ, your balls are huge.
I love it if we go on there. I love it if you go on there. First quest is like you have to slay 10 giant rats. And then after that you have to slay 20 giant rats, because it changes every 24 hours.
I think it's a bit more futuristic anyway, but sorry Steve, carry on.
Right, no, as I say, the thing that concerns me about a statement like, obviously with the storyline, is that, okay, so the rest of the content is this expansive, like, massive universe. But, oh yeah, our storyline you can do in 5 minutes, because we want you to fucking go off and do all the other bullshit.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that, That's only just crossed my mind, that they'll probably focus, like, all right, you've done the storyline, now go and look at all this shit. Okay, they want you open world games call for open world means, but I really do hope that the story is not a fucking letdown. I never gave that a thought.
I want a massive storyline, and then all this side stuff. The side stuff is supposed to be like the garnish. But the extras are like the cherry on the top. It's not supposed to be the fucking meal.
It's like I'm sure Lee and Lawrence will agree with this, but Borderlands 2, the storyline for that was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it was huge. And I haven't even touched half the world, even a quarter of the world of Borderlands. But you guys, I think, have spent so much more time on it. I mean, is it that big compared to the story? Or?
It is. I mean, the thing is as well, what it does with the open world parts to it, it adds, and obviously all the side quests to it, add more to the actual storyline of the game as well. Like, in one of the characters, spoilers, but Mordecai's Bloodwing dies, the bird. And then you get side missions after that where he's trying to get revenge on it. And it just brings a little bit more to that part of the main storyline. So you can go off on a tangent and just do a bit more kind of on that before you actually continue on with the full quest.
Yeah.
So it can add certain parts to it. So hopefully this open world will bring different things to it. And like you might be able to bring it through origins of the characters and stuff like that through the open world a bit.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to explore more, hopefully, about the lore of the world to then kind of get really into the game.
Yeah.
Because it might be a small quest, but if you go around, look at all the lore, talk to all the other characters, find out what they like, kind of go through there. Then you can add a bit more. It adds more to the game when you go through and play it. So
it does. Yeah, it doesn't just become the linear storyline that it's set out to be.
Yeah. And that's the thing, you can do it at your own pace then. Like every time you go to a new area or a new zone or whatever, you just go around and you just get put onto a tangent, just going around. The amount of times I thought, right, I'm going to do this quest, do it, go get other quests, and then go here and go there and go all right around the map and do loads of different things. You think, oh fuck, I haven't even done that yet. So it can get intense. So it might be good. If they're putting a lot of effort into the open world and the stories behind it, then although it might be a short main story, it could be brought together by all the other side things, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. Lawrence, was you going to add anything to the story-based side of things?
Not really.
Well,
I think Lee covered it all. There.
That's pretty well.
Yeah. Sorry, I'd say I'm just starting to get quite cynical that I think that they're deliberately scaling back the storylines and giving you this massive open world because what they want to do is sell you more storylines to fit into the open world.
Yeah, it could end up being that. Although I've not heard of anything that they're sort of relying on microtransactions. I haven't read too far into that, but then again, I wouldn't put it past anybody because that seems to be the sort of future of gaming and to some degree. But yeah, that's what I've been reviewing for Sci-Fi, and that's technically my gaming news. Sam, what have you got for us, mate?
What is this, gaming news or what we're playing?
This is gaming news, what you're doing on your reviews for GameOverman.net. Anything particular in those boundaries, dude?
Well, I mean, something I've been playing, I mean, I'll just brush over it quickly because it's not really a new game. It came out at the end of last year. Is Gears of War Judgment, which is like a spin-off of the Gears of War trilogy. And it's quite cool because it's not sort of like an ongoing, you know, I don't know if any of you have played the Gears of War games, where it's just a continuous story, whereas this one, you know, it's more mission based and like points gathering. Basically, what happens is 3 of the soldiers from the original series are sort of, because you know, like the army in the series is like sort of pretty much corrupt and all that. They're sort of arrested for, you know, like not following orders and that, and this is them telling their story. So they're put in front of like what they call it, like the army, like the army court.
Yeah.
And this is them telling their story, and you've got to go back and do all these missions. But it's also rather than just going through it like you do in the original Gears of War, you can sort of choose your own path as well. You know, it's like, do you want to collect extra stars? You know, because the more stars you unlock in each stage, you know, you can unlock like side missions and like multiplayer stuff, and that's you know, you can actually decide how you want to play out the levels and that, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I enjoy the Gears of War games, so you know, it's nice to have a little twist on them as well. So, but yeah, I've been playing that. Other than that, I did a story on Halo 5 Guardians. That the PC fans are a little upset that, you know, it's not going to be released on PC at the moment. They're just purely focusing on Xbox One, which is understandable because they fucking banked a shit ton of money off of Xbox sales and probably nowhere near that amount on the PC.
So Halo's been their sugar daddy for years, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So they're just saying, you know, who was the guy's name?
Can't
The
remember.
guy who works for it's 343 Industries, Bonnie Ross, pretty much said, you know, yeah, it's pretty much saying, you know, it's going to happen at some point, but you know, it's all about the Xbox One at the moment. You know, this is their first big release on the Xbox One, so they're putting, you know, 102% into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, other than that, I've been looking at a game literally only over the last couple of days. I'd seen the trailer for it ages ago, but never really, you know, looked back at it. And there's a game called Evolve. I was speaking to you before about it. It's just like a sci-fi shoot 'em up. You know, it's like I don't know. I don't want to go too far into it because I'll probably get it all wrong. But apparently, it topped the E3 Game Critics Award nominees list. It got the most nominations from all the critics at the at E3 this year. So you know, obviously it can't be that bad if it got the most nominations out of all the categories.
Well, it's from the Left 4 Dead excuse me, it's from the Left 4 Dead team, isn't it? It's pretty much a lot like Left 4 Dead in the sense of that there's 4 characters that need to take down one enemy. All right, zombies in Left 4 Dead, but this is they were releasing.
It's like dinosaurs meet aliens in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, they're releasing monsters each month or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the playable characters on Evolve, you can tell, you know, they've got sort of like similar inspirations they took in Left 4 Dead, you know, with these characters, you know, they're sort of like larger than life, stereotypical, you know, like in Left 4 Dead, there's like the hick and that, and you've got the the guy from
veteran.
Yeah, like a guy from Texas with a cowboy hat. You know, this is sort of like the stereotypical, you know, future soldiers, you know, things like that. But yeah, other than that, that's about it for me this week. So.
Was that like with Evolved? Was it like the characters are a bit of a parody on the kind of the genre that the game's entering into?
Yeah. I mean, fuck, I'm a little unprepared on this subject, but yeah, I'll bring you more on it. I mean, it's almost like some of the characters were like you can see inspirations from, you know, like Hicks and what's his face from and Hudson from Aliens and things like that.
You could. Yeah. What I noticed as well that's pretty good out of it, whereas where it was in Left 4 Dead, the characters were very sort of they were just characters. That was it. Whereas in Evolve, I think I'm led to believe that they're literally class based as well. Like there's a medics one, there's like a heavy arms gunners the other. I'm not quite sure what the other classes is. So that's nice for a little bit of difference. Then it adds teamwork instead of it just being a typical point, shoot and click, like point, click and shoot, you know. It actually adds some sort of strategy to your missions, which is a nice change from what would have been Left 4 Dead 3 in a sense.
If you look at one of the characters, he's pretty much who does Jesse Ventura play in Predator?
This the sexual tyrannosaur.
So if you go on Google Images and search Evolve characters and look at one of the characters. Yeah. And it standing in the jungle, that's pretty much him.
Oh, it is as well. He's got like the minigun pose, but
he's got like the handlebars, fucking moustache.
I see the dude you're on about.
Yeah. So yeah, and the other soldier, there's a guy who's got like the red eye, and that he looks a lot like, you know, he's sort of what they call, he's got like the Warhammer 40k.
Yeah, he looks like he looks Space Marine sort of thing.
Yeah, but
I'm definitely looking forward to that.
But as I said, I've only just pretty much started taking notice of it in the last day or so. So I'm going to probably look back and see what's come out so far, see what they're hoping to bring. You know, and a lot of the aliens as well. They can tell that they've took a lot of inspiration from the film The Mist.
Oh yeah, the Kraken looks reminded me of that, like tentacle wise and stuff.
Yeah, it's that classic HP Lovecraft design.
There's one image on the line where it's do you know when they're in the mist at the end when they're in the car and you've got that fucking giant behemoth walks across the road and it looks like it's got like trees on its back.
Yeah.
Things like that, and they're looking right up at it. Yeah, you know, there's something on there that looks like that. So I'm gonna look into this a lot, and next week I'll get in it.
Nice one, man. Loz, what have you been researching or gaming news that's interesting you, mate?
Well, I just created a sci-fi page for the new StarCraft game, Legacy of the Void. Massive StarCraft 2 fan, well, StarCraft fan from the get-go, really. So I'm looking forward to that. I've got to do a bit more detail and stuff, and I'll start posting on there in a fair bit, so keep your eyes out for that.
Sorry, is that like the Protoss story now?
Yes, it's the final one of StarCraft 2. So you've had the Terran and the Zerg, and now you've got the Protoss. And apparently you play as Zeratul. And apparently it's just going to be, according to what I've read, it's going to just be unreal, like all out, just carnage.
Because I remember on StarCraft 2, the first one, there was a level where you play as a Protoss, and you basically had to last. But the whole point of the level, spoilers, is that you don't, and you just last for a certain amount of time, then you just get overrun, and the whole Protoss race gets wiped out. So it'd be interesting to see how they bring it in on this new one. If there's, well, we said you play as that guy, so he's probably hiding somewhere and comes out and has to rebuild a whole bloody race of people again.
Yeah, from what I gather so far, you've got to go around and join up all the different clans, and the whole idea is that Protoss are the future alien race, and that they're going to come out and just wipe the floor with everyone. So, yeah, it's something to look forward to. I'll post on Sci-Fi on that a bit more. The other thing I've been doing, or looking forward to, is has any of you guys played a game called Z, Steel Soldiers?
Rings a bell.
I remember that. Where do I remember that from?
Yeah, I bought it on PC years ago, but it didn't work on my PC. But it's
Is
going to
that-
get released on Steam in like
Sorry.
next month.
Is that the one with the cowboy, like the robot kind of cowboy with the scar in his mouth?
Ah, that rings a
Yeah.
bell.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was-
It's
yeah.
like the Command and Conquer sort of gameplay sort of thing.
Yes.
I mean, you can go like areas of the map to get more resources and stuff. Yeah, it looks really good, and I'm looking forward to it. So keep an eye out for that. It's coming
Is that
out on
new one
Steam.
or a remake?
No, they're releasing the original one that was originally released on, I think it was on the Sega or the SNES or something like that, or the PC, maybe, like real early. And then, so they're releasing that, and then they're releasing number 2, Steel Soldiers, which was released like later on, like 99 or 2000, somewhere in there. So that'd be good. But the game I've mostly been playing is Dynasty Warriors. Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends Complete Edition. If you like just pointless killing of thousands of people, you need to play this game.
It's just a hack and slash on a horse almost. And
Yeah, but like they've refined it a bit more, so it's got a bit more of a storyline to it, so you can actually follow it. And it's like in one level, I just was playing it for one level. Just took me about 45 minutes, and I killed around about 2,000 people. And it's just brutal. And some of the weapons ideas that they come up with and stuff like that, like one guy's just got a giant ring of steel that he wears around his like chest, like a I don't really know. It's a giant ring, really, and he just throws it around like a hula hoop and just slashes the shit out of things. One guy's got battens, and it's just a really good, fun game just to get rid of your aggression. And yeah, so if you're a fan of the Dynasty Warriors games, get this one. But I think it's by far the best one. The storyline's a bit better. There's a campaign where you can play as Lu Bu, who's apparently like the world's best warrior and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's really worth playing. That's pretty much it, really. I've just spent too much money on the Steam sale, so I've got a heap of games I'm never going to play. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. That's from me.
cool, man. Cool. I'll tell you what. Are you going to be doing a review of that Z Steel Soldiers?
I will when it comes out.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
will
I'm
be
looking-
replaying it.
Yeah,
2001, the original came out.
That was it. Yeah.
And isn't it crazy how just a picture can remind you of a game? You
Yeah.
completely forget about things.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right, Steve, what you got for us, mate?
Okay, well, so basically, the last couple of days I've been most interested in a lot of kind of theories about the gaming crash happening again. As I mentioned before, with obviously Bungie dropping $500 million into
Re-releasing ET on the Atari.
into
They
like
dug them up.
You know, it actually is. It looks pretty interesting because obviously someone mentioned EA a few sort of minutes ago, and their share price is struggling. And it really does look, if you actually follow their releases, they are pumping out endless shite just to keep themselves afloat. Almost like their releases aren't actually games anymore. Their releases basically are like Wonga.com. It's like a payday lender. They need to just pump a game out to get some more money into their coffers, because they are desperately struggling. It really does seem they're really on the low right now.
Yeah, but EA have got a bad reputation of being a crap company.
Well, yes, they have. But back in the day, EA actually had a reputation of being a very good company and actually releasing proper, decent games. When the stock market crashed in 2008, their share price never recovered significantly enough to give them the time to actually mold a game, form a game, and make it and develop it properly. So now they are just literally throwing games out there just to then get a quick bit of cash into their bank account.
That's
so
why
they
they
can
do a lot of the free-to-play gaming apps on the iTunes store, like Dungeon Keeper, free-to-play, full of microtransactions. Cheers,
Exactly.
EA.
Yeah. No, they are a company desperately struggling.
I mean, they've always struggled with their customer service as well. That is, everyone who's had to deal with VA on a customer service level, it's ridiculous. And I think that's probably quite a large factor for why their share price hasn't kind of helped. I mean, if you look at other companies, you can contact them on Twitter or something like that, and they come back to you straight away, try and help you out. EA just say no, and that's it. You just don't get anywhere with it.
Ha! Peasant.
Yeah.
That's if
I think they got.
replied-
I think if anything, they probably got too big.
Mm.
They kind of neglected the fact that they were pumping out these really good games, which everyone wanted. But now with every other with the ease now of indie games coming in, and you're getting better, newer games that aren't just the same game with a different title, and you're getting better customer service from these guys. I reckon that's kind of additionally added to their downfall a bit, really.
I could agree with that.
So what is
Well,
their
that's-
sort of like, apart from the sports games, what are their big players at the moment? I think, is it Battlefield?
They-
I think's one. Isn't it?
Yeah, because they've got Origin that you have to sign up for when you play things. That's like EA Origin, and that's Bioshock 2, Mass Effect, Simpsons Tapped Out. Obviously a big game there.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah,
that's
so
the
they sort of tried to compete with Steam in that sense, and it just didn't really work.
EA have pissed off a lot of their sort of like, fans with rushed endings, rushed games, and that of their big franchises. And yeah, they're like, all this microtransaction. And also EA are definitely one of the big boys behind this whole no pre-owned market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they sort of stepped back on it now because they went for a few years where you couldn't buy a pre-owned copy of, say, FIFA or NHL. Like if you bought a pre-owned copy, they give you a code, don't they, when you buy the game new? An online code, and obviously if you bought it second-hand, you'd have to then go onto EA's website and buy the online code for like £10. Whereas, I realised because I got FIFA and NHL 2014, and neither of them had the coding, so I think they felt the burn of that by being cunts.
Yeah, by singularly selecting their consumers to like, oh, you bought this to play online. If you resell it, then no one else can. So
Yeah.
it's just that's ridiculous. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they're playing like old school tactics where they are desperately kind of like, they think they've got a captive market, but with mobile and tablet gaming coming into like a massive sort of like predominance especially for like kids and that. I mean, the amount of like parents that just fob their kids off of an iPad to play Angry Birds. The market is not as captive, especially with like all the PC gaming as well now. The market is not as captive as EA think it is, and I think there's going to be a definite retaliation on there.
Yeah.
I'm still angry at Alice. Oh. Have I
That's-
told you about Alice?
Yeah, hold on. Didn't you told me something about Alice a while back? Haven't they recreated her? Or
Well, the first game was brilliant, one of like a real cult classic, real dark. And the second game, The Madness Returns, started out to be the same, and I was really enjoying it. I'm going, yeah, this is awesome, real good. Gets to a stage in the game where I got an umbrella for a weapon, and it defends. It's like a shield, and you have to fight this boss. And the only way you can kill this boss is by using this umbrella and reflect his ammo back at him. But there's a bug in my game which wouldn't let me use the umbrella. So I looked around to try and find a patch, and nothing. People on forums are going, oh, you just have to go into like the code of the game and change this to this. So I tried that, and it didn't work. So I just went, oh, fuck yeah, and just uninstalled it. And I'm very, very angry.
Take that, EA.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. You're not getting my money.
And the share price crashed.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to look after your consumers, but also what is amazing right now is how much Super Mario Kart 8 has impacted Nintendo's sales. Because Nintendo literally announced a profit warning a few months ago, and they basically were ready to sack their president. And Nintendo looked down and out. They looked like they were going to just basically disappear. And even like there were some rumors that Nintendo would do a Sega and step out of the hardware market and only go on software. But thanks to Super Mario Kart 8, they've actually increased their sales by 666% in the UK territory alone.
It's nuts.
Wow.
Give the marketing boy a fucking raise. Jesus, who come up with that idea?
Yeah, and
What was the idea?
imagine the Wii U sales once Zelda drops.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were going nuts. They were creaming their pants over that E3, weren't they?
Yeah.
That did look pretty good, I must admit. I'm not a huge Zelda person, but I was pretty impressed when that came on.
I think that the Wii U, obviously it got a head start on the competitors, and it didn't seem very fancy. It seemed more the same, bit of a gimmick, but because of Nintendo's focus to gaming and gameplay, I honestly can see. I mean, the PS4 is definitely a gamer's machine as well, but I can see Nintendo ending up winning this generation of console wars again, simply because they know what they are. They are a gaming machine, not a fucking Xbox do this, Xbox do that, Xbox fucking turn off, you bastard.
They're not an entertainment system. They are literally gamers. It's a gaming system.
Well, technically they started out as an entertainment system.
Yeah, Nintendo Entertainment System. Yeah,
But I mean,
you know what I mean,
Nintendo's-
like multimedia.
Yeah, Nintendo
exactly.
still do own the handheld market in my eyes. I mean, yeah, most
they
people
do.
get their iPhones now, and you do get some games on there, but you don't have the battery life because it's on your phone, and a lot of the games have microtransactions. But Nintendo, with the Nintendo DS, still are just ruling that handheld market. The PS Vita came in, but in my eyes, I don't think it really did too much damage, to be honest.
No.
When they're releasing all the Pokemon games on there, they're getting most of the Zelda games on there, the Phoenix Wright games, the Professor Layton games, they're coming out and they're just solely on there. You can't get them on iPhone. You have to have a Nintendo DS.
Well, that's
And that
the
is a
thing.
market that they have smashed.
It is. Nintendo are a company that can transcend everything. They launch a console, a handheld, and you don't have to be a gamer to want to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I mean. Like as you said, Lee. Like the Nintendo handhelds. When they release a new one, they've got their, the Zelda properties, they've got the Mario properties, the Pokemon properties to pass on. And they've already got a built-in fan base. Whereas the PS Vita, which is the follow-up to the PSP, what games were on PSP that set the world on fire?
Yeah, PS Vita's got less than Sega Game Gear. It hasn't got anything. It's got no iconic mascots. It's got no iconic franchises.
It's like releasing a sequel to a film that didn't really make any money, or didn't light the world on fire. It's like, what's the point in that, When you see films come out, you're like, why'd they make a sequel? It's almost the same with the PS Vita, and I think maybe if they spent more time finding a way to even, because Sony do smartphones, maybe trying to get the PS4 and that to communicate with like a Sony smartphone rather than another handheld console.
Well, you can do that. You can have apps that basically, because I always thought that Apple should have released a TV, a games console with their iPhone, so you can control everything from like an iPhone and an iPad. It would have made perfect sense. But last night, the reason I'm so fucked off with Xbox One is because I sat down to play co-op split screen Titanfall and I can't do it. So okay, fair enough. That game doesn't support that feature. So I go on to fucking Need for Speed. A racing game in 2014 does not have a split screen fucking co-op option on Xbox One.
That is quite nuts, actually.
That's ridiculous.
Does anything have a split screen?
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
No, I mean on Xbox One. I'm talking about.
There's a few games, but I mean, come on, it's a fucking racing game. Split screen, post like 8-bit, 16-bit consoles is a fucking standard.
Split screen was the origins of multiplayer, or still is.
Yeah, but you don't know how. Like, obviously, they track everything everyone can do now. How do you know that in the last 5 years that fucking in things like every single game, like Call of Duty and Need for Speed, the amount of times people had pressed split screen mode and actually played it was probably fucking zero. I can't remember the last time I had a split screen game of something.
They could not have tracked half of that stuff because most of the split screens you played were on consoles that were not hooked up to the internet.
Yeah.
And like, how many times I played fucking Star Wars Battlefront 2 and the first one, endlessly split screen. Fucking split screen playing.
You're going back more than 10 years ago now.
It doesn't matter. The fact is that what pisses me off, it seems so cynical, is because basically I can't sit there and play split screen racing games against a flatmate, but if I fucking buy a second console and a fucking second TV, I can fucking get my own Xbox fucking Gold fucking Live account and fucking play it with this fucking second fucking TV, which would make sense. It would make sense if it was Sony doing it, because Sony sell TVs as well, and Microsoft don't even sell TVs.
It's got a good point though. Like, split screen just doesn't seem to exist anymore yet. It's like, it'd be great just to have split screen with all your mates or something. It's just what makes it fun, instead of everyone bringing around their PC, bringing around their monitors and bringing around their consoles and then linking it up and then realising that my lead doesn't reach the power socket, or there ain't enough power sockets. We all can't play together. I wish we had split screen.
Yeah, but how much more fun was it playing Command and Conquer on 2 TVs back to back with your mates than it was playing fucking, I don't know, GoldenEye split screen, even though I love GoldenEye.
Oh, fuck off. I was going to say GoldenEye is like one of the best multiplayer.
Yeah, but no, but
fucking
you know what I
games.
mean. There was something special about hooking up
you
the
can-
2 PlayStations and playing Command and Conquer with your mates with the TVs like back to back.
All right, Sony.
It's pretty much like imagine if they got like a fighting game like Tekken, and you couldn't have that, so 2 people playing. So pretty much you only see your character, and you can't see the other person's character, but they can, and you have to connect to sort of see them. And if you try and play with your mate next to you, you just see a black box.
To be honest, like, you know, you joke, but like disabling split screen options could be the thin end of a wedge that actually does take you to the fact that you can't even play FIFA against each other in the same room. You have to go on fucking line to do it over the networks. Because as I said, if they're dropping $500 million into games, they fucking need to make sure they get every penny out of you to do it.
Yeah. Good point. Good point.
Anyway.
Is that you done with your news and everything else, mate?
Yeah. Game of the week, Space Hulk, Deathwing, love it, like the look of it.
Cool. Sweet. That leaves you, Lee.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
In terms of gaming news from my sci-fi things, there's a lot of stuff on Pokemon coming out at the moment. Well, just mainly releasing kind of new Mega Evolutions and stuff like that. So it's not too much. Same with Borderlands, the pre-sequel. That's kind of... It's got a bit quiet on there at the moment. We're waiting for more information on that, and I'm generally so excited for this game. I just bought Borderlands 1 on the Steam sale for a tenner. It was with all the DLCs as well, so I'm going to literally, to fuel my addiction to it, I'm just going to play that through before the new one comes out. But the new one's looking really exciting. New players, new guns, new areas, and the whole story looks good. So I'm really excited for that. Really cannot wait. But apart from that, I mean, the games that I've been playing, I managed to complete. Well, I say complete. It doesn't sound like much of achievement. I've done the latest episode of Walking Dead the other day. Thought that was good.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good myself.
Yeah, thought it was good. I like to see where they're going to go from here because it ended quite brutally. And the Sarah character in it annoys the fuck out of me.
Oh,
but there we go.
doesn't she just?
And so that was actually pretty good. Actually, I was kind of. I'm still not getting as emotionally attached to this one as I was the first one. This one, I'm being a bit more brutal. And I'm just like, oh, fuck off, grow up, and stuff like that. I'm not being as caring like before, where I was trying to protect Clem. I was doing more things to make sure she's okay, rather than now I'm just saying, oh, fuck off, Sarah, do your own fucking fruit picking. Fucking grow up, you're a woman. So that's that.
It's like the first episode was having a child, and this episode is now your child's hit that teen puberty area and is a little shit.
Yeah, you just want to get rid of them. And then, apart from that, I've done the latest episode as well of Wolf Among Us. That's good. Again, I don't know if any of you guys have played that one. It's another episodic. Is that right? Yeah. Telltale Games, Wolf Among Us. Really good. Good. I feel I spoke to it at length before on the podcast, so I won't go into too much about it. But it's mainly like all the fairy tale characters in a kind of grimy, like New York kind of world setting, and it's really good. So we've got one episode of that yet to come, so I'm waiting for that to come. Waiting for the new Broken Sword 5 episode 2 to come out on the ISO. I know it's out on Steam at the moment, so I could get it on PC, but I played the original game on my phone. It's a good time killer for me on the train, so I'm just waiting for it to come out on that first. So once that comes out, that should be... I'm looking forward to that. Keep checking updates on that, really. But apart from that, as much as Lawrence said, I've been spending some money on the Steam sale. I've got some classics, which I'm really looking forward to. I've got Max Payne 1 and 2, which I lent to someone years ago. I think I might lend it to you, Dean, or my friend Sad. And you've never given them back to me, so I've just bought them for £2 on the Steam sale. But if you have got them, I want them back, actually, because I do want the original boxes of them.
Yeah, well, I need to definitely delve into Max Payne 3 for a
Oh,
start.
don't acknowledge the fact you've still got my games. Yeah, just skip over
Yeah, I
that.
try to avoid that.
Yeah,
I
just
will
avoid that
return
question.
I will return that at some point.
Do you remember my Max Payne story, Steve? That I told it
Yes,
everyone.
I did. You came out the cinema.
No, let me tell. Let me tell it before we go. This goes back to like 2001. I just bought the Max
It came out
Payne.
of cinemas.
Yeah. No, the game came out in 2001. No, I was playing it, and then I went and see the Planet of the Apes film with Marky Markin.
Yeah.
You know the one. And when I come out the cinema, I was like, oh fuck, he's like a spitting image of Max Payne. I bet he could play him. And then it was like fast forward to 2008, and it's like casting confirmed. Marky Mark Wahlberg is now Max Payne, and I was like, fuck yeah, no.
I mean,
That was and apparently, but like back in 2008 when that happened, I was telling everyone the story like I predicted it. And I remember everyone used to be like, oh, this fucking story.
That's what you get when you live in the Truman Show, man. And everyone's just stealing your ideas.
Yeah.
He's going to be a pensioner with his grandchildren. Do you remember that time I predicted a Max Payne movie?
And then it came out and he was awful in it, and then I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, he doesn't have a war story, but he's got a fucking Marky Mark story. That's how far our generation has come since 1945.
Well, I guess that wraps up gaming news, Lee, or have you got anything left?
No, not else really. Yeah, that's kind of it. I've been away for I had a week off and I was away this weekend, so I haven't really had a chance to do too much gaming in myself, but looking to crack on this week. So yeah, that's it for me at the moment.
Anything else from anyone else, just very quickly before we wrap up?
No.
Yes. So I downloaded a game which I played as a kid called Kingpin.
Cypress Hill soundtrack.
I had
Yeah,
this.
right. I don't know whether I was an awesome gamer when I was younger, or they've made the game exceptionally hard, but it is fucking hard.
Yeah,
I always remember it being
Holy shit! To the point of the bit that annoyed me the most is you walk around a corner and you get attacked, and you go, "Why is my life going?" You look down, there's a rat, and you're getting your life taken off you by a rat. Right, so you look down and try and hit it with the crowbar, and it just stands there biting you, and you die from a rat.
That's one badass get a rat, motherfucker.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It was ridiculous, and there's no real, oh, you need to do this part, which, I don't necessarily mind, like the lack of storyline's fine. But when you're sitting there going, what the fuck do I do? You go in one corner and you get raped by these fucking gang members, you go in the other corner and there's a bloke with a shotgun, and you just go, well, I'm stuck, what do I do? Because I've only got like $2, so I'll just go around beating up hookers and try and get money, and that's it. It's the most annoying thing. I just need to get off my chest.
Okay.
Thanks.
No, I agree. I go back to games that I used to play all the time and used to own, like dominate. And now I'm so used to fucking open world, do whatever I want, however I want to do it. I'm like, what do you mean I've got to fucking use my hand-eye coordination? What's going on?
Saying that though, I've got it in reverse. I used to play the Mario game on the original Game Boy. Super Mario, the first Super Mario that was on Game Boy.
Yeah.
And I spent hours playing that, and I completed it. By the time I spent days playing it, and then finally completed it. But I remember it being really hard. Yeah, and I got it on my Nintendo DS for like £1 the other week, and I played it through first playthrough, and I completed it. And I was like, oh, what was I worried about? Why was I such a bitch?
Was you worried in the first place?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I was nervous. I was sweating. I put a lot on it.
It is true. There are some games I go back to that I literally struggled with that I can now do a hell of a lot better on. But then get Lord of the Rings, Two Towers on PlayStation 2.
Oh, that's cunt of a game, wasn't it?
I completed it first sitting virtually, but now I go back, I can't get past level 2.
Same thing. I went and revisited Echo the Dolphin, and I still have fucking.
Oh fuck! Echo the Dolphin. How do you get off the first screen?
I'll leave that.
I remember. I rented
We'll leave that for another. We'll leave that for another episode anyway. Next episode, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to put it to you guys. Choose 3 games that changed your life as a gamer. From the beginning to the first game you remember, to the one that really sort of revolutionised gaming for you as a hobby or whatever. So have a think about that one, lads. That'll be the next episode.
Duke Nukem forever.
So does that mean we've got to sit here and listen to you talk about Echo the Dolphin for
Possibly. I might play it, I might not. I might just play it and then cry in the corner. Light a bin and maybe shower in a cold shower once. Like the scene off of Ace Ventura.
Can you just download it and just do a video of you playing it, please?
I might have to.
If you do that, I'll download Parappa the Rapper.
Oh,
That would be
God.
amazing
wrong
to
with
watch
the
though,
rapper,
because
the
there's
rapper?
more frustration in that.
Oh God. Games.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody. You can catch us at GameOverMan.net. You can get everything that's relative to Game Over Man at GameOverMan.net, but you can also catch us on sci-fi.com, writing articles in the gaming section, Twitter at GameOverPod, YouTube channel, Game Over Man Podcast. Yep, youtube.com/GameOverMan Podcast. I believe that's all social network wise. Oh no, Facebook.com/GameOverMan Podcast.
Visit our friends Insert Coins. Is it
Oh
Insert
yeah,
Coin? Or
Insert
Coins?
Coin Clothing sending us very nice garments to wear. We will be going to the Eurogamer Expo as well. We'll probably be doing a video on that, so you'll be able to watch that and look at all the cool snazzy shirts and clothing we'll be wearing from themselves, particularly. Anything else before we do actually say goodbye?
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
Right. Until next time, gamers. We'll see you again soon. Bye bye.